Richard Martinez, the father of one of the students killed, had this to say to reporters yesterday.
You don't think it'll happen to your child until it does. Chris was a really great kid. Ask anyone who knew him. His death has left our family lost and broken. Why did Chris die? Chris died because of craven, irresponsible politicians and the NRA. They talk about gun rights. What about Chris's right to live? When will this insanity stop? When will enough people say, stop this madness? We don't have to live like this. Too many have died. We should say to ourselves, not one more. Thank you. That's it.
We want to go now to Republican Senator John Thune, who is in Minneapolis, and Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal, who joins us from Stamford, Connecticut. Senator Blumenthal, I'm sure those words and those sentiments and emotions ring in your ears as a dark and grim reminder of the situation in Connecticut, the elementary school, everything about that. What is your reaction, sir?
First of all, my heart and prayers go out to Richard Martinez and the loved ones of all of those victims in Santa Barbara. That gut-wrenching, heartbreaking statement is a reminder of how we felt in the wake of Sandy Hook on December 14th, a year and a half ago, when it seemed like we were on the verge of potentially legislation that would stop the madness and end the insanity that has killed too many young people, thousands, tens of thousands, since Sandy Hook, including Erica Robinson and Javier Martinez on the streets of New Haven, whose lives we commemorated recently. And I hope, I really sincerely hope that this tragedy, this unimaginable, unspeakable tragedy, will provide an impetus to bring back measures that would keep guns out of the hands of dangerous people who are severely troubled or deranged like this young man was, and provide resources. We need mental health resources, and that initiative, I hope, will provide a common ground, a point of consensus that will bring us together in the Congress and enable the majority. 90% of the American people want background checks to be heard, to be responded to, and to end the madness and insanity.
Before I go to Senator Thune, let me follow up Senator Blumenthal. The sheriff told us that there were no flags that would have prompted a check on the legally purchased weapons that Elliot Rodger had, and he didn't seem to have large or larger than normal size magazines for his weapons. Do you believe the legislation the Senate did not pass would have made any difference in this case?
The legislation that failed to pass, it got support from 55 senators, would have provided a mental health initiative with more resources, greater ability for the Santa Barbara police to intervene, to use the sheriff's word, to have professionals trained in diagnosing and detecting this kind of derangement. Obviously, not every kind of gun violence is going to be prevented by laws out of Washington, but at least we can make a start. And I am going to urge that we bring back those bills, maybe reconfigure them to center on mental health, which is a point where we can agree that we need more resources to make the country healthier and to make sure that these kinds of horrific, insane, mad occurrences are stopped. And the Congress will be complicit if we fail to act.
Senator Thune, your thoughts?
Well, Major, let me also say that our thoughts and prayers go out to Richard Martinez and his family and to all those that were impacted. This was a horrific act of violence that involved not only shootings but stabbings. And when we get the specifics of the case, we do need to focus on, and I agree with Richard, and ensure that we have policies in place that allow people with mental health issues like these to be diagnosed and to be treated. I think that's something on which there is agreement, and that's where we ought to be focusing our efforts.